Hangout. My name is Leona. We have Dave Taylor and Gretchen from Painting Happy Little Minis. We are here today to hobby and hang. Are you ready, guys?
Are we ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
I'm not ready.
I can't hear you.
Are you ready?
No.
Yes, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are back this week to hobby and hang and talk about miniatures and all things we love and the sunshine outside. Dave has something he loves in the corner. He's holding things he loves. So what have you guys been up to?
Dave, you go first this time.
Sounds good.
We only have an hour and a half. busy. Okay, quickly. Studio X, super cool mobile painting studio. Really, was I stretching my shirt that wide? You have to go to widescreen on me? Anyway.
Sorry.
No worries. Studio X is funding on Kickstarter now. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and we've talked about it previously. It is running at the moment. We are well and truly funding. We're smashing through stretch goals.
Woo!
Loads of cool stretch goals at the moment, which are a lot of them are focused around a lot of the artists that have helped us out with promotion. So we have, I think we've passed. Yeah, we have 3 different live streams from fantastic artists around the world. Alfonso 𝙀𝙀𝙀𝙀 in Spain.
Nice.
Don Serratos from the Philippines, who is a big gunpla guy. And he also is a painter for Vallejo.
Oh.
Some of our favorite paints. As well as Jim and Kathy Wapple, who are friends of ours from Chicago. They're also doing live streams. We have a few people doing PDFs for us, sort of focused on their particular speciality. So one of those is Elizabeth Beckley Bradford, who's a friend of mine from Georgia.
Yay!
Who is going to be doing something for us on skin tones. Elizabeth does a lot of the studio models for Kingdom Death. And if anybody's seen the Kingdom Death models, you know that they have a lot of skin showing. Yeah. But Elizabeth does some fantastic skin tone work. Elizabeth is also part of, this is going to be the most fantastic segue ever, is also part of the Miniature Monthly Patreon. She, along with Aaron Lovejoy and Matt DiPietro, do classes, different like video classes and that kind of thing on their Patreon called Miniature Monthly. They have a painting competition running at the moment with cash money prizes. I know, pretty huge, but I'm not sure. I think, there's quite a bit. I think there's like $2,000 in prizes. But the most important part is there are loads of very cool trophies. Like shaped like gnomes. Nice. So, but definitely check that out. I think Liz might have posted something in the group, Painting Happy Little Minis group.
Okay, cool.
If not, you can check out Miniature Monthly on Facebook, or you can check out Miniature Monthly on Patreon and find out all the information about the painting competition there.
That is awesome.
In addition, I'm going to get all out of the way at the beginning, or should I save this particular one for last? No, I'll get it out of the way now.
Do it.
So this Saturday, as well as being a whole host of other things, is also Free RPG Day.
Woohoo!
At your friendly local gaming store. So a friendly local gaming store is purchased or ordered, or I'm not sure how they did it, but it's probably free. From Free RPG Day. There's a whole bunch of RPG-based companies who have provided loads of awesome content, adventures, scenarios, all that sort of thing. Dave Taylor Miniatures, and teamed up with Mantic Games and the Army Painter, another paint company that we really love, to create the How to Paint a Library booklet.
That's awesome.
That's so cute.
In here, we go through and look at painting a library from Mantic Games from their terrain crate. And you think
I love it.
this is how you like prepare the miniatures, prepare the models, spray them, getting started, what dry brushing is, what washing is, that kind of thing. How to do it from a this is from a black base coat or from a brown spray, and from, have a guess, what do you think the last one is?
A white?
White.
White spray.
And a friend of the show, Jeff Hall, has written up some great adventure hooks for libraries. So some of those are fantasy. One of them is a pulp/horror thing. And of course, there's at the back.
Yeah.
But so that is available from your local game store as part of RPG Day. And here's the cool part about it as well is Mantic provided a whole ton of library pieces. So it's not like you walk in and go, oh, I can paint up this library. If I had the terrain crate, the pieces are there as well. You can get those for free too. So super cool. Great.
Very cool. Definitely recommend to go to your friendly local game store, ask them if they're participating, and then make sure if this year they happen to not participate, make sure they get on that list so that then they can participate next year, which is really exciting. Find local game stores that are doing all that stuff. I didn't realize you were doing that. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing.
You had an NDA on it.
Jeff Hall and I are writing a book about painting dungeons.
Right.
So I'm not sure when we're going to sort of end up revealing the rest of that to the world, but we're working on something that'll be very much focused on taking existing product that you could buy off the shelf in the store and painting it up or repainting it or tinting it, taking it from like a gray stone into a sandstone, and then all the other things that you use to populate a dungeon. So book about that kind of thing.
That's awesome.
So this was kind of like a little tester teaser fun thing. So hopefully people enjoy it.
Yay. Tell us if you guys checked it out this weekend. That would be really fun.
Yep.
Real quick, I just wanted to say hi to everyone who is watching and people who have commented in the chat. We have Michael Harris here. We have David. And we also have Roger Moore. Chris Gorka is here. Sumkey, Byron, and a Facebook user. If you allow StreamYard to access your profile, I'll be able to see your name. And they also said, that same person said, yay, RPG Day, which is really exciting.
Yep, very cool.
Love it. Love it. So let us know if you're watching. Say hi to us in the chat. And what have you all been painting recently, since it's been almost 2 weeks since we seen you? Oh, also, Chris Layfield says hello.
Hey, Chris.
Hello, everyone.
And while there's been several other things that I've been doing, I'll save those for later.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yours are more fun than mine.
What have you been up to, Gretchen?
So I what?
Tell us about your foot.
Oh no.
Dave's just admitted. Dave's like, finally, something to make fun of Gretchen for. They always give me, so I probably broke my foot.
Oh.
I go to the doctor tomorrow. I was out jogging about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I landed on a rock, and I didn't think that I had injured myself to the point of a break. I thought I had just bruised myself, and I continued running, and I just started getting horrible bruising and was like, maybe I should see about this. So I did, and the patient first doctor took some x-rays and was like, yeah, you broke your foot. Good job. I will go in tomorrow, and I'm trapped in a boot. I'm trapped in a boot. My dog's in a cone. He got ringworm. He shared ringworm. We're a hot mess in this house.
But we can still hobby.
But we can still hobby because you know what? I don't use my foot to paint with. So I don't, it's like a special skill I don't have. I don't use my feet to paint. So
can anyone paint with their feet? I mean, besides the people who like, do people mini paint with their feet?
I bet you there are mini painters who do.
Somewhere.
somewhere.
out there.
Yep.
Okay.
Special skills.
I give the floor back to Gretchen.
That is awesome.
But in mini painting related, going back to that, and not just me being a silly klutz, I had a birthday since the last time we saw everyone. And for my birthday, my lovely boyfriend gifted me, and I can't lift up like the whole box, but I was gifted a lovely airbrush set, like a whole kit. So I have some paints, I have the whole set, and all I have to do is set it up, and next time we are painting, I'll be trying it out. So if anyone has any tips, tricks, airbrushing, can you airbrush with your feet? Any fun things at all about airbrushing? I've never used airbrush, not even for traditional art. So it will be a bit of a learning curve, but I'm super excited because I think some of the airbrushing techniques look really nice on minis. So yeah, I'm joining the airbrushing crowd.
The airbrush club.
I'm joining the airbrush club. It's much better than the I didn't think I broke a bone and then did club. Because I'm part of that too. This is my second time. The other time I didn't.
I was going to say, are you a founding member of that club?
Maybe.
Okay.
At least the other time I didn't keep running on it. The other time I was like, oh, my toe looks purple. This time it didn't turn purple until later. And that's without visual clues, anyone's game.
That can be tough. Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
Friend of mine that I used to work with, Stu, who works for Private Press now. When we used to work together at Games Workshop, he went snowboarding. Went on vacation, went snowboarding, and he had a fall and he hurt his arm, but he wasn't. It didn't hurt too bad. And he came back to work, and he was working for a week building gaming tables. So he had to move large, like 6 foot by 4 foot sheets of chipboard around in the studio to put them onto the table, lay down glue, lay down sand, let it dry movement. But basically, so he spent a whole week doing that.
Okay.
And then on the weekend, he went, I probably should go and get this checked. And so he did. And it turned out he had broken his arm, and one of the bones had sort of gone left like that, but it had started.
I'm not alone in my club of people who don't realize when they break things. Everyone's see, here's what trips me up though. And the reason why I didn't seek medical attention immediately is because every person in my life has always said, if you break something, you will know.
You'll know.
Right.
And I lack that ability.
Oh.
So for like 2.5 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, I was like, well, it can't be broken. I'll know.
Yep.
Wow.
There we go.
That
advice ends with you now. Make sure nobody ever spreads it again.
Yeah, you'll say, if you break a bone, you might not know. That's the new
You
saying.
really might. I heard with like feet, it can be difficult.
Yeah, feet is weird. I think it's easy to like break toes and stuff and just be like, it's fine. It hurts, but it's fine. Real quick, I wanted to say hi to some other people in the chat. Our dear friend Zabiram. We have Don Slater, who said there's actually a store finder on the free RPG Day site. So head over to that website and you can see if your store is part of this year's event, which is exciting. Jeff Smith says, afternoon to everyone. Hello. Jimmy said, I already signed up for a D&D game at one of my friendly local game stores, and I'm working on the Black Spider now from a starter campaign. Cool. That's awesome. Gotta love painting up some spiders. Roger Moore says, I finished up the Valhalla mini and ships from War of the Worlds and going to finish up my Legend of 𝘧𝙫 this week, hopefully. That's nice.
I look forward to seeing those finished photos, Roger.
Yes. Some Key says, happy birthday to you, Gretchen. Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Also, Chris Gorka said, Gretchen, that is a great brush to have.
Thank you.
Quality brand. Jimmy said, my next investment is an airbrush kit, and I have a 3D printer and lots of minis printed to practice on. Nice. Yeah. Ryan says, hello to everyone. Welcome, Ryan. Thanks for joining. And oh, yeah. Key says, I think Leona is done with these broken bones stories. It was when Dave said it like split and like.
Well, the great part was is that it like it had started to heal, so it had started to bind back together. So
I had to re-break it.
So they didn't re-break it. He just has a big lump in his arm now.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
That's not cool. I don't have lumps on my feet so far, so
yeah.
Already, dude.
That's good. Hopefully you won't.
Chris asks, Dave, do you have any tips for brush painting a vehicle?
Oh yes, plenty. I guess it depends on what kind of vehicle it is, but I'm guessing it might be a 40K vehicle. Use a big brush as big as you can get. Well, when I say as big as you can get, but not as big as you can get, but something that's kind of like this size, so maybe like half an inch. This is the large shade brush from Citadel. There we go. I think it's
okay. Yep. Got it.
So use that to put down your base color. Put it down as smooth as you can. If you need to do a couple of coats, do a couple of coats. Let it dry completely. And the great thing about vehicles is typically they have a lot of sharp edges. So that's what you want to, so they have a lot of texture on them. So you want to be able to catch the edges with your dry brushing. And if you can get yourself a brush that's similar to that, which has like, it's a round bristles rather than the other one, which is more flat. This is good for dry brushing. Probably better than the other for dry brushing because this one, you can move your brush around. You don't have to keep going back and forth. You can move the thing you're painting and move your brush around to get a nice even kind of coat on it. If you're picking out your edges.
Nice.
Yeah. So if I'm not sure if Chris is doing like a Space Marine vehicle or an Imperial Guard vehicle. I'm going to guess an Imperial Guard vehicle. This was working on the Valkyrie a couple of weeks ago. That has a lot of texture. There's a lot of lines and rivets and that kind of thing. So yeah, just dry brushing over the top. Probably for I think almost all of my Imperial Guard vehicles that I painted over the years, like probably like 50 or 60 of them, I've been brush painted. I haven't ever brushed them at all. Oh, it is his Valkyrie. Cool.
It is the Valkyrie.
Yeah, so I'd work in two main stages. One is getting the base coat down nice and flat, and the other one is once that completely dry, doing the dry brushing. Yep.
Very nice. And so, Gretchen, what are you painting today?
So I'm trying to actually get a hustle on my dragon since a bunch of life things happened last week and I couldn't do much of anything with it. I do have a better light now, so you guys can actually like.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Those spines are looking awesome.
So I'm just working on trying to get some contrast. I'm not being as diligent on the spines going down the back as I was on the face spines, mostly for time management.
Yeah.
But also I kind of want them to pop a little bit more around his face. I want the eye to be drawn to his face. Yeah. And then I'll probably do, his wing comes around here, so I'll probably be doing a little bit darker on all of the things on this side as well. So that it looks like the light is really catching on this side. But I like his face. I like how he's coming out there. He's doing a good job.
Yep.
And I'm liking the effect that I'm getting with these gemstones, kind of attempt vibes going on. So yeah.
Yeah, that is looking really cool. I am.
Yeah. And I definitely second your thoughts on the why to not have as much contrast for the lower spines, because yeah, that'll really help focus everything around that face, which is it's looking great. Very nice.
Also, hello to Dave Schrumpf, who is in the chat.
Hey, Dave.
We have some other happy birthday wishes to you, Gretchen. A couple of people. Oh, Dave says, been a while. I've had so little time for mini painting relative to roll D20 prep, thanks to quarantine. And, oh, does Dave use an airbrush? That is a question from David.
I do. I don't use it a lot. I'm not particularly skilled at it. And I get a little bit impatient with it. I think I know a lot of tips and tricks and that kind of thing with brushes, but with an airbrush, not quite as good. So, and also have a tendency to accidentally bend the needle tip, which is the absolute worst thing you can do.
That's a no.
So, yeah, I think my airbrush is like usable about half the time. So six months out of the year it's usable. Which 6 months will be, I don't know. But usually there's a lot of time where I'm waiting for needles to arrive. But yeah, I am thinking about picking up another airbrush or two so that I have replacements so I can be working while I'm waiting for replacement pieces.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I haven't finalized what that's going to be yet. I got to talk to some friends and yeah, trying to just get in a little bit more of the cool things you can do with airbrushes. Yeah, for the most part, we use them for base coating, really. So
yeah, that is fair.
Yeah, I use them on the Chaos Nights. Actually, I've been posting.
Oh, really?
In the group. Yeah, I used it for the base, the colors on the carapace. So all the armor plates at the top, the greenish bone or greenish white kind of look, and also on the bases, all of the initial colors that I put down with an airbrush. So, yeah.
It helps make things look very, very smooth.
Yeah.
Super smooth.
It can, for sure.
Dave says that he knows what mini I'm painting, which is true. Brand of Tarth. Love that. And Dave also says, very cool spines, Gretchen. Ryan says, that dragon looks amazing. And
yep.
Byron does say, I can't see you, Gretchen, but it's just because of the way the thing is.
When you lean forward? Or
lean back? Yeah.
I probably need to
just move the camera a little bit.
Yeah. Our camera doesn't move. There we go. This way. The right way. This is the right way.
So in the chat. Oh yeah. David says I've replaced the needle nozzle twice on mine, but it's such a time saver.
Yeah. So. Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Makes sense.
Ooh.
I also feel like you kind of need, maybe I'm wrong with this, but when you're airbrushing, do you kind of want to set up in a different way than just like pulling out pots of paints?
Yeah, I think it can be very handy if you do have a place to set it up. Because I'm incredibly lazy and haven't cleaned up the rest of my dungeon basement. I don't have a...
Because of the dragons that are living there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. It's, yeah. It's the dragons. It's totally the dragons. But, no, I don't actually have a place where I've set it up permanently. So I actually do my airbrushing out in the laundry room.
Gotcha. On your clean clothes.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that there isn't like a thin layer of paint dust on everything, but that's a thin layer of paint dust on everything. But no, I think there are a lot of really cool extractor fans and like desktop extractor fans and spinners and things that you can use to really make your painting stuff more efficient when you're using an airbrush, without a doubt.
For those of you in the chat who have a airbrush, what is your setup?
Yeah.
Do you have things that Dave is talking about when you
Or
use
is
airbrush?
he lying? Do you have things? Do you have things that Dave has, or is Dave lying? See, I don't think he's telling us the truth.
Chris says to have a good respirator and good ventilation.
Yeah.
And Chris Gorka said a spare needle and brass tip are always good to have on hand.
Absolutely true.
Which makes sense. David says I have a small spray booth.
Cool.
And Ryan says airbrushing is a little too expensive for me to get into, which I can understand.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a big step to go from brush painting to airbrush painting. But yeah, that's good. Yeah, it sounds like David Bosch has got one of the spray booths that's about this sort of size, about the width of this column, which is nice. But yeah, some of those have like extractor fans at the back and a filter, kind of like a furnace filter, so that everything gets the paint particles get drawn through into that and caught in the filter, and just replace that when you need to.
Nice.
So yeah.
That is a good time. And then Dave, what are you painting today?
I'm still working because I've been doing all these other things. I already mentioned like a third of. I'm still painting on the 𝙀𝙧𝙀𝙀 Infected from the Kill Team Rogue Trader box set, but this is one of the big guys. One of the Nightmare Hulks. And this one has a belly full of mouths.
Delicious.
Has mouths on the arm, that sort of thing. So, yeah. This afternoon, I'm going to be finishing off the second of my articles for Game Trade magazine on contrast.
Okay, cool.
Not contrast paints, but the concept of contrast as it applies to miniatures. So I did one for the August issue, coming out next month, which talks about hue and tone. So hue contrast and tonal contrast. This month, the one I'm working on is saturation contrast and temperature contrast.
Oh, yep.
And then next month is texture contrast and finish contrast. So like finish is like matte or satin or gloss kind of thing. And texture is obviously texture. So what I'm doing with this guy is using this guy as one of the examples, so they can have the texture of his skin be very different to the texture of the ragged clothing that he's wearing, and be different to the texture of the tongue that's lolling out of one of the mouths, and that kind of thing. And then I can also slap a whole bunch of gloss varnish in the mouth and make it really disgusting, and use that as an example as well. So
that's cool.
I'm focused on for this guy, and he's got a huge cleaver, cleaver here, so I can do lots of rust stippling techniques and that kind of thing on there too. So
nice.
Again, give him loads of different textures.
Almost too many, maybe?
No.
No.
Can't have too many.
Never have too many.
Okay, that's fair.
You probably could, as long as they're as long as they're all appropriate, so that skin looks like.
Chris has a really fun thing.
Which one?
Layfield. He's ordering some colorblind glasses to see how it corrects it.
Oh, that's interesting.
I want to know how that affects your mini painting.
Yeah, I'm sure Chris wants to know how it affects it.
You're like, all this green and red.
Very exciting. Hope it goes well.
That's awesome.
And somebody is talking about comparing contrasts.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Always.
Yeah.
Don Slater had said, I have been painting more dust commissions and exploring the 𝙀𝙧𝙀𝙀 MSG model system. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with the second half of that sentence.
Okay, cool.
The first half, certainly. The dust stuff is very cool. But yeah, Don does a lot of really awesome like mecha.
Right.
And stuff with the machine and Krieg stuff, which might be the MSG.
Okay, yeah.
So I could be wrong, but yeah, very nice. Very nice stuff.
I'm excited to see those.
Yep.
In terms of an airbrush, Chris Gorka said, I have a small spray booth, a respirator, and a dump overflow pot. So
I have
that's a good thing
so
to
many
remember.
things that I have not explored. I have this.
So that's the dump pot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Chris was just talking about.
I have a brush cleaner. I have. Ooh, I don't know what this is.
A tag. Oh no, it's not. It's a thing.
An airbrush coupler. Yeah, no, it's a thing. There, I have a big box of goodies that were, but like also there's popsicle sticks. So I thought it was more showing and to just pop up the actual bit.
Right.
Yeah, before you get it set up.
One thing to check, Gretchen, when you're getting set up is making sure, it's checking to see if the compressor has a moisture trap.
Oh, okay.
I think a lot of them do have, like, a lot of them come with a moisture trap attached to it. So be prepared to sort of regularly dump that out, particularly in Maryland right now when it's like 110% humidity for the next like 2 months. There'll be you'll get a lot of moisture in the compression. And if you don't dump the trap and you don't regularly dump that, you'll get extra moisture into your line, which will cause sort of splattering with the thing.
That's good to know.
The air compressor. And you can also pick up cables, lines, whatever they're called. Hoses.
I was like, okay, conductor.
They're called hoses. Hoses is the word I'm looking for. That run from your compressor to your airbrush that have inline moisture traps.
Mm-hmm.
So they're usually a little bit easier to get to when you need to release some of that moisture from the line. But yeah, I definitely recommend those.
Keith Compton says, a small portable paint booth, set your pressure to recommended levels. That is a tip.
Yep.
A flow, Chris Gorka said, flow improver, right? That's how you say it, is a must.
Yep. Flow improver is good. Yeah.
Oh, and Chris Layfield said, maybe I'll finally set up my airbrush as well and learn along with Gretchen. You should. You have a week. You have a week to set it up.
Good. Yeah. But yeah, flow improver. I use the 𝙂𝙖𝙢 thinner, airbrush thinner, to thin down my paints, running them through. And the
am I wrong in thinking that it's a dust?
Airbrush?
No.
It's a little liquid.
It's a liquid.
Okay.
Liquid paints. I guess.
Gotcha.
I guess you could put pigments into some sort of carrier.
Gotcha.
But that might be a bit too clumpy.
I must be thinking of a different type of brushing type thing.
Yeah. I think like a sandblaster.
Mm-hmm. Almost. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I think so. At the top of your that airbrush, Gretchen, there's a cup with a lid on it. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at the point now where generally I can judge the right mixture of the thinner and the paint, so I can squeeze those in, and then give them a good, like, put the lid on, give it a good shake while it's all in the airbrush. But some people prefer to use those little condiment cups, little plastic.
I have those as well.
Okay, cool. And so do your mix in there first, and then pour it.
Yeah, I have like a whole beginner's kit. It was a big box of my boyfriend who got it for me went online and was like, if you're gonna do this thing, what do you need? And then got all of the things.
Awesome. Yep. Cool. That is good then. Yay.
Oh yeah, powder coater.
Coating.
People are helping me out here.
Yep.
Don Slater says, sounds like a powder coater, and Jeff Smith says a powder coating might be what you're thinking about. Yes. And then Keith said clean up Windex without ammonia sometimes.
Right.
Yep. For cleaning up.
I use the Vallejo airbrush cleaner, which is really good, but I suspect that Windex without ammonia is probably significantly cheaper.
Yes.
So yes, in a size, a dollar to volume ratio.
That makes sense.
Couldn't know that it works well.
Cool. So would you guys like to look at some miniatures?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's.
Woohoo! So every week, people are posting in our Facebook group, and it's great. If you're new with us, we have a Facebook group called Painting Happy Little Minis, where we join together during the week and post different works in progress and stuff like that. And I gather them, and then we talk about them on the show. So that is what we are going to do now. I actually have Dave's. Dave, I have your photos that you sent me.
Oh, you have that up first?
Yeah, so let's look at those first.
I'm just going to move.
We're actually going to look at Dave's first.
Man.
Sorry, everyone. I thought it was so cute because look, guys, look.
Like such a cheat.
There's a dinosaur.
So that dinosaur, I painted these up for my buddy Joey Maguire for This Is Not a Test. Joey and a bunch of other guys. So Joe McCulloch, who we've had on the show in the studio a couple of years ago, Ash Barker, Sean Sutter, all banded together to create this like independent game designer collective kind of thing. And each quarter they're going to be doing a magazine called Blaster, and Joey's doing some stuff for the second issue of Blaster. This Is Not a Test, his post-apocalyptic game, and it's they're Beastmasters essentially, who have psychic abilities to influence animals.
That's so great.
The one at the front is just is a fun little Stegosaurus that he got that Joey asked me to paint up as well from Bombshell Minis. So anybody knows Patrick Keith and his awesome work at Bombshell Minis, you can get that cool Stegosaurus from him. But the four behind it were I think the first time I've painted miniatures from Hero Forge. So each of them is a 3D printed model. Joey has 4 different kinds of Beastmasters in this next article. So the one on the left of that screen is a super evil dude who sort of doesn't care about the animals that they dominate, and sort of uses them until they're done and casts them aside. So of course it had to be in black leather and purples, and had that raven there.
The colors of evil.
Yep, the colors of evil. And the next one is the like the beast friend, so somebody who is very kind to the beasts and loves them. So they have a that one there has a little mouse in there, well, a big mouse in their hand, and a squirrel down on the ground.
See, that is a rat. That looks about the size of the guy coming into my garden, stealing my strawberries.
Yeah, I live in Baltimore City, so that's more a mouse kind of size. That doesn't rate as rat for us just yet. But then the next guy is a mutant. Unfortunately, I didn't realize it until after I see it on the screen here. But he has chicken feet.
Oh, nice.
And there's a little sort of line behind him, just to his left, our right, which is a cleaver that is wrapped around, like has a tail wrapped around it, so he has a prehensile tail. But that's like a mutant collar, and then on the right hand side is like a tribal sort of animal collar, and they have a wolverine down in front of them, which is really cool.
I was wondering what that was, if that was just a mound of dirt.
No, I need to do a little bit of extra texture work actually on the fur to make that a little bit more obvious. But I went for the it's really weird to look at pictures of Wolverines and understand, like, normally animals are dark on the back and lighter underneath, or at least a lot of reptiles are. But yeah, this Wolverine was like golden on the back and almost black underneath.
Dark underneath.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah, really wild. But yeah, I was just really excited by the quality of the Hero Forge 3D minis that Joey got. I'm sure he got the like top quality, but there was no real cleanup work that needed to be done at all.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, it was
cool.
exciting.
I feel like they've come a long way.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Also, hello to Cat Swift. Morning, folks. Had to open the shop, so I'm late. But I hope everyone is doing well. And Dawn says, I love the first one on the left. Very Fallout and PR Ranger. Would be great for Wasteland Warfare. Yeah.
Joey's a huge fan of the Fallout universe. But yeah, all of these things were stuff that you can assemble on the Hero Forge mini creator, which is pretty neat.
That is awesome.
So, yeah, definitely cool.
Oh, is it not going to just let me go? Okay.
No, it's probably because it's separate. Is it not lined up with the rest? All the rest will have names on them.
Yeah. Just give me a moment, folks.
Ryan says, I want that dinosaur. So adorable. Should I go for like more sort of naturalistic colors for the Stegosaurus? And I was like, nah. This is a dinosaur in a post-apocalyptic Fallout wasteland. So it gets bright oranges and greens.
Okay. Here we go with Chris Sheen.
Awesome. Yeah. I love these. So these are he's using these as sentinels, which are usually like armored walkers. They're usually like two, 3 times the height of a person.
Okay.
But he's used some Praetorian Guard. So there's an old Imperial Guard regiment from Games Workshop, and I'm pretty sure that the base sort of jeeps that he's using there are MDF kits. They've got a lot of that sort of feel. I could be wrong, but I think it looks great. Yeah, just turning these into Sentinel representations. But yeah, Chris has done a very cool job on them. Given that color is very much like the long-range desert group of the British Army in World War II.
Gotcha.
In North Africa.
The lining is very well done.
Yep. The uniforms for the Praetorians there is very much colonial British kind of look.
The hats.
Yeah, the pith helmets. Yeah. And the color, just those bright red uniforms with the white trim. Yeah.
Perfect for desert.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Perfect for the desert.
Well, if you've got a problem, you just hide behind the desert colored Jeep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you don't stand up on the hood of it. Yeah.
And then we have Ashen Leaf Paintworks.
Yeah, this is beautiful work here. Just magnificent, beautifully smooth blends, and I love the colors as well. There's like a couple of different reds working in there, or burgundy kind of feel there. But yeah, I love the smoothness of the highlights and the look on the shoulders, the chest, and the helmet there. Just all fantastic. And I love. Actually, I hadn't noticed it before, but the yellow striping on the lower part of the barding. Yep, that looks great.
Yeah, the color choices here are really nice.
Yeah,
and I guess he did just do. This is all just like really fine detail line work.
Yeah, I think the miniature has a lot of that sculpted onto it on the armor plates.
Okay.
But if you look at the top part of the barding, so just between the like the hilt of the sword and the leg of the knight.
Okay.
So on that section there, so all those little like the fleur-de-lis and the little dots and that sort of thing. That's all freehand.
Wow. Great job.
Beautiful work.
That is awesome.
I was hoping you were going to include this one.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, this is beautiful. I'm biased. We have Graham with another figure, I believe, from The Walking Dead.
Yep, Abraham.
Aha.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. It looks great. Really nice work, Graham. I like
work. Sorry, Gretchen.
I said muscles.
Muscles. Yep. I like the like you can see the brush strokes on the muscles there, kind of across them, which gives, particularly on his chest, that gives that feeling of like he's a hairy guy.
Oh, true.
That sort of hair texture to it, but it's not really dark because he's a ginger, so it wouldn't be like dark brown hair or anything like that. It's just a bit lighter, but no, it looks really good, Graham. Nice work.
We have Jason, who actually recently joined our group. Welcome.
Yep.
And they were talking about how they were new to painting, and so I thought I would include a new member of ours.
I think Jason said he's been painting for about a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked about some basing advice, which another one of our members, Daniel, jumped in and basically gave him exactly the same rundown as I would have for getting started with basing. But yeah, and for only painting for a month or two, it's just an excellent looking work there, Jason. I think I always talk about what's one of the things I always talk about for new painters?
Clean lines.
Clean lines. There you go. And Jason's done a really good job with that. You can see whether like the hands on the hearts, the little loincloth down there next to the legs. He's just done a really good job of keeping those nice and clean and tidy. And I think he's used the wash over the metallics, which is just starting to get that punch in that little extra depth in there, which is really nice. But yeah. Excellent work, Jason.
Nice clean work, and welcome to the group.
Yeah.
And we have Jason, another Jason with some Space Marine.
Space Marine dude. This is a Primaris Marine, so one of the newer Space Marine styles from Games Workshop. And this is an Apothecary.
Aha!
So apothecaries are on the battlefield to fix you up if they can, if you get broken in some way, like if you lose your arm or something. But if you're too far gone, they will extract your gene seed from you, which is they're usually sort of in your neck. So there's this thing called the gene seed that gets implanted in you and turns you into a Space Marine. So they will extract those so they can implant those gene seeds into somebody else in the future to turn them into a Space Marine.
Ooh.
So that's what he got in his hand there.
It's a little bloody down here.
So that's kind of, sorry, mate, you're too far gone. But Jason's done a great job here. I mean, white armor is always incredibly difficult to work on. But I'm particularly, again, talking about clean lines, the edge of that armor trim, so the blue, where the blue meets the white on the shoulder pad, where the just next to that, where the red meets the white on the chest there. Again, yeah, just good, smooth, neat, clean painting.
Yeah,
excellent work,
I agree with that.
Yep.
We have Jimmy.
Jimmy, this. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say I believe Jimmy was talking about how they also recently started painting.
Right.
I could be incorrect in that.
I don't know where this miniature's from.
This miniature also has a decorated cape in the back.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. But yeah, looking cool again. Clean lines. That's the very first thing, and Jimmy's got that going on here for sure. I think with the red and the gold and black, I'm getting a little bit of a Star Trek vibe. So and combining that with like an alien skin tone and the pointy ears, but no, it's looking good. And from a hue contrast point of view, the gold and the it's working really well against that purple. Both the pale purple of the skin and the purple of the cloak, the rich, deep cloak. But yeah, looking good, Jimmy. Nice work.
We have Jody, who made this piece. She had talked about it earlier, and this is the finished piece, which I
Yeah, I think Mark mentioned that the Vallejo texture material to make the vase was looked like baby poop.
It really did.
But yeah, this is a great one, having that having the stormtrooper sort of crushed into it. I think Jodie's done a little bit of extra work beyond this, so I think in the next week or two we'll have the finished piece.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, looking great.
Yeah, but I love it. Cool. Sleepwalk Air.
Nice. I like the little sleepwalker. But yeah, those are very cool. This is from the unmade box of minis from Warcry by Games Workshop.
Gotcha.
And, yeah, looking very cool. These are the ones. I don't think we painted any on the show, but we might have talked about it. But what they do when they get inducted into this warband is they have to skin their face, remove the skin from their head, their flens, their face, and then that gets stretched out, and on the belt buckle, basically their belt buckle is their own flayed face.
Oh no!
That's creepy.
It is super creepy, but then they wear skull helmets, so it's it makes it completely fine.
Oh my gosh! Some key says they are just trying to save face.
Yeah.
But
one of the things I really love here is that the Sleepwalker Air has done is choosing that yellow for that skull. It's really unexpected. I think normally you expect to see a bone-colored skull, or possibly a metallic something, a dark metal, iron skull, but that yellow is just really draws the eye to it. So beautiful job. Nice work.
we also have a piece of terrain built by William, or process of terrain being built. And I thought that was really cool. I was scrolling and saw some other minis, but then I saw this. I was like, I believe he had said it was kind of his first attempt at building a terrain piece like this. And it's going. Is that not true?
Yeah, you were going to say?
It's a dice tower.
Yeah. I was about to say it's going to be a dice tower.
So technically, not terrain.
Well, you can have it on the table, like
you can use it as terrain.
Yeah, people fight around the base of it. It's just like this is an enormous tower that we'd love to go up and investigate sometime, but right now we're fighting this battle. Once they finish fighting the battle, then they can go up and investigate the dice tower. But yeah, I think we're doing a great job here. And going through and cutting out bricks and laying bricks like one by one, that tower is a great deal of dedication. It's awesome stuff. But yeah, nice work.
In my head, I thought, so my guess is he must have fixed up the inside of that Pringle can before he started.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's gone through and created the little lips that exist inside of Dice Tower.
Looks really cool. I love seeing things in process. So
yeah, looking good. And yeah, Thomas Roach says Pringle cans have been the base of many pieces of terrain. Yeah, very much so.
True. And then we also have Madison.
Very cool. I wonder where this one is. I'm going to take a guess at Reaper, but I could be wrong. I know somebody in the chat is going to be able to let us know. But yeah, Madison, this is looking really cool. I think all the armor plates, like the bodice, I guess, called the gauntlets. Everything's nicely protected for a change on the female.
Yeah, but she still has the fitted breastplate, which is I think not the best to be stabbed, because it just centers everything right on in there, straight to your. Oh yeah, it goes straight to the heart. Yeah, not fun. Great aesthetic, pretty to look at. not practical.
But again, Madison didn't sculpt the model, so we can cut some slack there. But yeah, I think it's looking really good. And again, it's not purple, but the flowing cloth has that. It's towards that end of the spectrum, which is working well against that gold. But
I like the blue accents.
Yeah, the little gems around the place, and even blue in the eyes.
Yeah. I thought that worked really well.
Yeah, nice work.
So that is what we have for today. That was from the minis that we just saw were from our Facebook group over on Painting Happy Little Minis. And if you would like to have your miniatures showcased, be sure to be frequently posting in there, asking questions, and each Wednesday I pick out different miniatures that can be selected for the show. So after we're done streaming here, it's a great place to kind of talk and chat with people who also enjoy mini painting as well. So hopefully you can join us, and be sure to invite people if you know people who think would benefit from being part of the mini painting community as well. Woo! Definitely. We love it. Yeah. Last week, a week and a half ago, I asked people, I think in the group and also on YouTube, if you listen to anything while you paint your miniatures or do your hobby. And I wanted to put that question out to Dave and Gretchen and those of you watching. Do you guys listen to anything if you're working on something? Or
I like to listen to music, but I usually only like to listen to soundtracks if I'm doing something. So if I'm painting or working out or doing anything that involves me multitasking, then I listen to the Lord of the Rings soundtrack or video game soundtracks or movie, just instrumental stuff, because if it has words, I want to sing along, and I'll get very distracted. Unfortunately, no words, but it does make anything that you're doing feel like it's really epic. Bride of the Rohirrim from the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. Yeah. If you're running and that comes on and you are like, we are bringing the hobbits to we are making it so. I wish I had the ability to listen to podcasts or audiobooks, but I personally am just really challenged at that. It's just harder for me from just an audio perspective. I like to be able to either watch or have subtitles. When I watch TV, I use subtitles. So
I do that. My hearing is terrible, so
mine's not hearing related. Yeah. It's just audio processing related. Unless you want me to what?
That is fair.
Cool.
So your soundtracks, Gretchen, mostly. And then Dave, how about you? Do you listen to anything while you work?
When I'm if I'm focused painting where it's just I know what I'm doing and I can just sit in there and get into a rhythm, I'll listen to music, or I'll put on a TV show that I've seen a million times before.
Gotcha.
So that I don't have to always be looking up and breaking emotion. And the other thing that I'll do occasionally is I'll watch a battle report for a game that I'm interested in.
Oh.
So if I, so my friend Ash Barker runs Guerrilla Miniature Games. I'll listen to his battle reports. I'll have them on my computer right here, and I could be watching them, but most of it's just listening to the rhythm of the game. How many dice are being rolled, what they need to roll, that kind of thing. And generally, I sort of, at the end of it, after a couple of weeks of listening to a particular game or a particular army being used, I'll have a pretty good understanding of how I could use them on the tabletop if I have been painting that army.
Gotcha.
That's kind of what I if I had a focused kind of thing, I'd do that.
Byron says Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
Oh yeah, the running.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Don Slater says I listen to podcasts.
Right.
Oh, 𝙀𝙖𝙢𝙀𝙀 says hello all. Hello and welcome. We're talking about things we listen to when we work on hobbies. And Ryan said, I have to listen to something while I'm painting, usually the Lore podcast or Audible. Currently listening to Peace Talks by Jim Butcher, excuse me.
Okay.
And
Cool.
Thomas says Audible and Iron Maiden. Very cool. If you, for those of you who are watching, let us know what you listen to while you paint or do your other respective hobbies. I'm weird and I like to have like 20 things happening all at once. So sometimes I'll listen and then I'll listen to a podcast and music at the same time. Yeah.
You're trying to create like a coffee shop ambience.
Maybe.
You're in the corner, you're working on your novel.
And then
okay. And then there's music coming over the speakers. And then there's
I've done that before. I have put on, you can go on YouTube and you can, and there's what is the website called? There's a website where you can make your own ambient noise. So you can like click rain, thunderstorm, cat purring. Like you can just set up your own little, which works great for games. It's one of the like mood setting websites recommended for games, but also for like studying or writing or chilling out. I can't handle dead silence. I will go crazy. I come from too crazy of a family for silence.
Yeah, I think that's where it stems from for me as well, where it's just like I grew up with a lot of noise, so to work I need to like have layers of noise because then I don't lose concentration. The noise actually keeps me concentrated.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Is that kind of because like if you do stop and listen to it, that you'll be drawn into it?
Yeah, like I kind of,
That helps you block everything out?
Yeah. So then I'm essentially in silence, but I'm actually not in silence.
Right. Interesting.
It's very weird. Jeff Smith says music, podcasts, or a movie I've seen a lot. Kind of as you said, Dave.
Yeah.
So you're like kind of passive listening.
I'm doing laundry. I like a movie I've seen a lot because it's not enough to be distracting, but it's enough to give my brain something to do.
I tried to like listen to. It's also I find it interesting to hear what other people listen to because for me I can't listen to anything that's like too intense. So maybe like learning a game, I think I don't know if I would be able to
Right. Yeah.
Or like learning history. I like learning history, but like that's actually too distracting because then I'm like,
okay,
I'm learning fun facts here instead of like concentrating on whatever I need to do.
Right.
Oh yeah, and Ryan says if I try and play a movie, I always end up just watching the movie.
Yeah. It can be dangerous. There's I think I probably mentioned it at the time, but back in January, I went out to Peoria, Illinois, to help the Adepticon spray team, and there were like I don't know 14 or 15 of us in a garage doing lots and lots of airbrushing of terrain. And Hank, whose garage it was, had two TVs set up, sort of one on opposite walls, so it didn't matter which position you were sitting at in the room, you could look up and see the TV. But there were, so I think there were movies going all the time, but I think very very rarely did anybody look up. Yeah, and actually watch them. I mean, we might look up and watch a particular part of it. So like a particular fight scene in Highlander or something like that, or the end of Megaforce. People haven't seen Megaforce. Maybe don't go out and see it, but if you happen to stumble across it, it's going to be like an hour. Watch the end. Yeah, watch the last like 5 minutes. That's all you need to see.
Good.
I'll tell you everything you need to know about the rest of the movie. But yeah, the other indicator, the other thing was it would indicate when people were we're kind of done for the day.
Oh yeah, because you start watching them.
Stop watching. It's like you probably should wash out that brush. You're done.
They're just zoning out. They're like, oh wow, a movie.
Yeah.
How you doing there, bud?
Exactly. But no, that was good though. And then of course all the nerd conversations that those that watching movies spawned. But yeah, definitely good.
Makes sense.
How is Brienne of Tarth coming along?
I believe she's coming along okay. Can you please zoom into this?
Yeah.
Come on! live on camera. I'm trying.
You just do what I do and just hold up the silhouette.
Basically, there we go.
Yeah.
I added some more highlights and definition on her armor.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
the person that you sent me a while back, Dave, after the show, Dave had sent me an Instagram of a mini painter who has a much looser hand, and I'm forgetting his name.
Was that Christoph Kiel, or it might be probably Christoph, yeah.
I believe so, yeah. Christoph Kiel.
Yep.
Kiel. I would recommend checking him out. But anyway, I was telling Dave that I don't like having clean lines.
Yeah.
And so then he showed me an example of a mini painter who has a little bit looser of a feel. And then from far away, it's more impressionistic. So it comes together at a certain distance, which actually for tabletop works fine.
Perfectly.
So that's what I've been I was trying to do a little bit more of today.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
As opposed to only trying to do non-metallic metals, I gave up, everyone.
It's not an easy thing.
I didn't want to do that. Nope. No way. Yeah. But yeah, she's coming along. I also painted some white on this other guy because I thought maybe I would do the cloth and work on quilting.
Okay.
Do you have any tips for quilting on this part?
Right.
Is that leather?
It might be quilted leather. It could be.
I think it's quilted leather.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd be tempted to hit that with a just for ease. Hit it with a contrast paint. If you got some there.
Oh, okay.
Depending on what you want, like snakebite leather is going to be is very mid-tone, quite yellowish.
Okay.
And wildwood is very dark, but there are some other contrast browns, like the Cygol brown is pretty dark, but a little bit more red tinged.
Okay.
And Gore-Grunta fur has got a lot of orange in it, but hitting with those first is nice and quick and gives you that initial shading, and then coming back and mixing some of it with a like a really light yellow, like an ivory kind of thing, or possibly a white, and then just doing just highlighting the edge, the top edge of the quilted thing. I'll do that one more time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And leave the shading on the bottom there. So that's what I would recommend for that.
Will do.
Excellent. I've
go ahead, Dave.
On this guy, the clothing is a lot of pale gray, and I wanted to put the hair is going to be white at the front, and then I was going to be sort of darker gray as it goes back. But because I've used kind of like a warm gray on the clothing, I'm going to use put a little bit of blue into the gray for the hair, so that it's a cool gray. We'll just give it sort of a nice little difference. So two things that'll be tonally similar, but the color will be different.
Nice.
And temperature will be a little bit different. Again, so that I can use it to explain in the article the temperature difference, temperature contrast. Oh, hang on. No, damn it. That'll be for the previous one. Previous article. Ah. Oh well. I'll look out a good reason for using it anyway.
Gotcha. So, Gretchen, how's your dragon coming along?
How's he coming along? Now that I have lighting. So, there we go. So, we're getting some more highlights. I'm doing a little bit of the belly. Oh, my dog's about to boof a big boof. Someone walked outside.
Okay.
Forewarning. So you see his belly has some nice highlighting on there. I really like how that turned out. Everything where that wing covers, I'm leaving fairly dark. And then on this side, everything is getting super highlighted. I'm trying a different method with the spikes for along here. I'm doing a lot more dry brushing.
Okay.
Because they're so close together and his tail and his wing come up so much that getting the little swoops and circles that highlight all of the face more like gemstones is horrible. I hate it so much. I can't get my brush in where it needs to go without just reapplying paint other places that I don't want it to be. So I'm struggling there, but it's looking very cool. I like how the contrast is really looking very glowy from within. It's not quite looking gemstone-y, but it's definitely looking really cool. Which, when in doubt, rule of cool.
Really cool.
So I still have some few things that I'll be experimenting on with it and see how that really turns out in the end. I might just focus on how that really nice contrast is showing up and kind of focus on having that really glowy kind of feel and have the light source really be what I'm working on instead of just slopping on more and more and more paint, trying to get some kind of gemstone action. But
yeah, that's a good idea. I think.
I like his face.
That's fair. And I feel like sometimes in those dragons, like less is more. So as you said, like if you focus on the light, it will help the movement of the piece, even if not every part of it is gemstone-y.
Yep. It is it is a really interesting thing when you're painting models that have got quite a lot going on them, particularly large models. You don't always have to paint like highlight and shade every color to exactly the same levels. I mean, because if there are certain areas that aren't highlighted or shaded to that same level, they can sort of fall into the background so that your other areas stand out a little bit more. So
that's what we're gonna do.
Yep. On those the Chaos Knights that I painted, that I've been putting up on the group, the armor trim is using tinny tin, and there's only very few areas on that tinny tin that I've actually done any shading or highlighting.
Mm-hmm.
Them I've just let it be. It's there, and whatever natural highlights it gets, that's enough.
Gotcha.
It pushes the eye just wanders over it and goes, oh yeah, okay, and moves on to a more detailed area, which is really what a human eye does. So, and it saved me so much time.
You're like,
yeah, saved me like 2 months of work probably. I'd still be working on those guys. It would be crazy.
Chris Gorka apparently did a write-up on my Elder Scrolls project log for Quilted Leather on Tabletop, formerly Beasts of War. So I should definitely check that out. And others should if they want to look at Quilted Leather. Byron says, Gretchen, that your dragon would be cool with gold claws. Something to think about.
Yeah.
And then David asks, Gretchen, will you be basing that dragon? If so, will the base be as intricate as the dragon itself?
So I don't know if I still have the base for the dragon. If I do, then I think it would be fun to do something. But if I don't, then it's just a dragon.
Also, I realized I painted mine red and yours is green, and so they're Christmas dragons. Can we just appreciate that?
in the middle of July.
Christmas in July.
If I did, so part of me would be really tempted, since the original color scheme is emerald and we were going with gemstones at first. Part of me would be really tempted to have like a bunch of gold and then just hide a pair of ruby slippers in there, because Emerald City. Not that many other people would probably appreciate that, but I also really happen to love The Wizard of Oz. So
I think you definitely do it. Yep. You have decided.
Do
it now. Yep.
I like it.
yeah, follow the yellow brick road. It's fine. What's at the end of it? Dragon.
Dragon.
That's why it's the Emerald City, obviously. It's a horde.
Yep.
Were you
I was going to say, yeah, Byron said a base full of skulls.
Ooh, I like that idea. That's a really nice one.
If you want to see a model with a lot of skulls, if you head to the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook group, check
I
out.
actually have it.
You have it? Oh, you got a second round?
Yeah, I just forgot to show it. Like, I have it. Here it is. I'll just stop talking. It's this one, right?
This is the one. This is by Lyle
Kimball.
Excellent. Yeah. Let's zoom in on it. So this is a Chaos Knight Tyrant of the Castellan Persuasion, I think. But Lyle's done an awesome job of putting just loading all of the skulls from a box of skulls from Games Workshop over this. But everything's just in a great spot. It's almost like a walking. I think they're called ossuary. Ossuaries. Ossuaries.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, places where the bones and particularly the skulls of plague victims are stacked in what do you call it? In Europe. So all from the Black Plague. But,
ossuary.
Yeah. Ossuary. Yep. But just it has that sort of fantastic feel to it. Everything's in its correct place and wonderfully over the top. And there were, of course, some wonderful suggestions in there. And somebody suggested that maybe the base could have a few skulls.
Nice.
There aren't quite enough there. But I think Lyle said that he thought adding a couple of skulls might be over the top.
No.
Yep.
You can't have too many skulls.
Yeah. No, never have too many skulls. Excellent. Oh, Giant Texas can't shake off the feel of Predator Titan with so many skulls. For sure, yeah. Loads of trophy skulls there.
Drytech had also said, today I got a bunch of Dark Soul miniatures and I'm too scared to paint them. Why are you scared?
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Yep. There's some really nice models in the Dark Souls box. Some models that have got some really interesting proportions and shapes and silhouettes.
Okay.
And that, they're definitely worth priming those up and getting stuck in. Probably one thing I'd suggest if you are feeling a bit sort of worried about it, because I'm not as good as I would like to be. That's okay. None of us are. We're all still on our journey moving forward. But grab some of the Brianna Tom, Awesome Dragon, looking good. But no, grab some of the models that where there might be like 6 or 7 or 8 of the same model, because Dark Souls is a board game. You're gonna end up with models that are, if not the same, very similar. Grab those and just prime them up, paint them. If you don't like it, prime over them, paint them again, just until you get comfortable on those couple, and then go for the rest of it.
Kind of work in a small batch, and then once you feel comfortable and
I'm just saying that, like, because you don't want to go through and work on all of them if you're not comfortable with the painting level. It's just grab one, grab a second one, prime them, paint them, and if you like it, keep going on to the next ones. If you don't like it, prime over those same ones, work again, work on those until you get something that you're happy with, you're satisfied with.
Gotcha.
Get some, head to the local game store and pick up some of the models from the WizKids range. That might be sort of a similar size, because they're great value and for using that. But yeah, definitely give it a go. And the other thing you can do as well is, if you've seen some really nice models that other people have painted that you want to try and that sort of style, you can practice that same sort of look on a different shaped miniature, different size miniature, whatever. But just practice how you think it would be, and work through. It's all about getting practice and feeling confident.
The Dry Tech says, yes, I will try it, but first I have to finish my Dreadnought for Black Templars.
Great thing about Black Templar Dreadnought, there's lots of black on them. When we're going back to talking about when Chris asked at the beginning of the show about dry brushing vehicles, or brush painting vehicles, Dreadnoughts are a great one for that, because there are lots of sharp, hard edges to sort of dry brush and just catch those edges with a gray, like a mid gray.
Kat had said earlier about the base for Gretchen's that you should get. So Gretchen, you should get a red glitter a pair of Barbie heels and hide them under piles of gold, just to see how many people will notice.
I love things like that too. Little Easter eggs, I think, are really fun.
Yeah.
Like,
and no doubt you have red glitter in your house, right?
I actually don't have red glitter in my house. I don't have as much glitter.
Who are you? You don't correction.
I have a bunch of white and clear glitter, because it's easier to mix iridescent mediums to the color I want than just have
then just be stuck
loads of glitter. Yeah,
loads of separate colors.
So,
I'm kind of surprised that you don't have like a rainbow of pre-mixed together.
Mix. I have a big thing of iridescent glitter medium for watercolor, but it's you mix it with other colors, like you put it on top of everything.
Right.
And it's just a little bit more efficient.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I know you have red paint, so.
I do have red paint. I have gold glitter. I do actually have gold glitter, because I spray painted a sword, a light up sword, for a gag prize for a tournament.
Oh, fun!
A light up glitter sword. Yes, because I ran a little King of the Hill style, like, for funsies tournament at one of Natasha's, one of our other talents here. She does roller derby, and we were the halftime entertainment
Oh.
And because it wasn't like an official league event for swords or anything like that, then we just did the little tiny prizes. We had a fan favorite. So I would go over, I just emceed. So I would go over all of my fighters and I had them all introduce themselves in fun ways before we started. And then the audience would choose their fan favorite fighter, and they would win a little crown, and then we had the winner of the tournament itself.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
A good use for glitter.
It was the fabled, I forgot how I introduced it, but it was something dramatic, something like the fabled, the worthy, the light up glitter sword of something or another. It was a fun time.
The light up sword of the lake.
So.
Excellent.
A very good time indeed. Well, we are getting to the end of our show, folks.
Oh.
It is that time.
No.
So, Dave, what have you been able to work on?
So yeah, just got the I'm sure you can see it. They got the teeth done on the mouth. I've got
Nice.
something you probably won't be able to see on the material is some cross hatching to give it some texture, and then just working on the hair now.
Cool.
To make that sort of stand out as a separate texture as well.
Not
too bad.
I was just painting up some quilts for my guy, and it's super blurry, but blurry quilt is better than no quilt.
You'll have to take a photo, post it in the group.
Yes. And then Gretchen, have you been able to do anything else?
Not that you can. I don't know if you can tell. Can you see the highlights? I did some little highlights on his
on the neck,
on his spikes, and on the neck. Yeah. So I picked out the lightest green that I've been using that you see in his eye, and I kind of pulled it down some of the spikes. Use this coming along here.
Oh, cool.
To just hit that light, and as I turn it, you see that it gets darker along here. So this is all going to be. It has like a little bit of a base coat and a little bit of shading going on right now, but all of that, since it's hidden by the wing, is going to be a lot more kind of in shadow, and then everything on this side is going to follow along in this kind of glowy, highlighty kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So hopefully that works well. I do have, y'all were joking about the glitter medium. I do have an emerald green medium that I could use on that to give it a nice good glaze. We could say.
I never joke about glitter.
See how that would show up. But yeah, so far it's looking good. I think the doing a lot more dry brushing and not doing as much attention as I did to the face is going to save me a ton of time. And hopefully actually give me a little bit more to show next time we see each other.
Awesome. I'm excited, and I'm excited for you to kind of put together your airbrush as well. It'll be fun. You're kind of able to get that up and running. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for those who said hi to us in the chat, just chatting with us. Thank you to everyone who has been posting in the group on Facebook and creating and showing us your work. It's been really fun to see what everyone has been doing. And yeah, be sure to head on over there while we're not streaming. Be part of the group, post questions, answer questions, and comment on other people's work. It's been really fun to keep up with people as, you know, we're all kind of quarantined in different places. So, and don't forget about Free RPG Day, which is happening this Saturday. you can go onto freerpgday.com and actually look up if your store is participating. And if it is, you could get a painting tutorial from Dave, which he collaborated with Army Painter and Mantic Games.
Mantic Games, yep.
Which is really cool. So if anyone is able to go out and get one of those, take a picture of it and post it in the group. It would make me very happy.
That would be awesome.
Very happy.
It would be
really cool. Be sure to head to your friendly local game store, even if they aren't participating in Free RPG Day, and support them. Follow all the social distancing rules that they have in place, and support your local game store. And we will be here next week. We have kind of a special episode next week. We're going to be painting Sanctum minis that are as part of Gen Con Online. So I'm excited to do that. It'll basically be our normal show, but we might have a couple of new people that will join us as well in terms of the chat. We might have some new faces. So thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to Gretchen and Dave for joining and hanging out. Is there anything else you want to say before we head out?
No.
Don't forget Studio X, the Kickstarter. I did actually put that link in the chat. Wherever you're watching, you will be able to find that link, and you can head over there. That is a Kickstarter that Dave is part of that has to do with a mini painting travel case.
Yep.
And that is fully funded at this point, but you are still able to back it. Go ahead and do that and share it with people who you think would enjoy that as well.
Kickstarter runs till next Tuesday.
Ooh. So time is ticking on that. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining, and we will see you next week.
Bye.